Ladies and gentlemen of the living and the dead, my name is Ari Esther, and I'm your friendly neighbor, Governing Commissioner who fears all things horror. Happy Wednesday! Happy end of Wednesday! It is halfway through the week! Halfway through the work week. Hello, hello, hello. Hope everyone had a good day! Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Hello, CJ fan. Hi, I hope that your week has been fantastic. I have been so sleep deprived this week. I think I slept on average 4 hours this week. That's okay. Okay. Tomorrow's my last day of suffering. And then I will be free. And then I would be free. If you're always being friendly and kind to me, you're welcome. I try my best to be nice to everybody. Try my best to be nice to everyone. Not always. Sometimes I yell at you guys too. But you guys like it, so that's okay. Hello, Bronda. Where's the updated autopsy report? I ate it. Well, actually, the cat ate it. Yeah, the cat ate it. I don't know why. I guess it didn't like it very much. Hello, Bimoa. What's up? What's up? Hello, hello, hello. If you were an attorney, I think you'd win every case. I will try. Hello, Kojo Play. What's up? You're first. You are first on Twitch. Welcome in. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you. Are you pulling all-nighters over the rest of the week? No. I'm gonna sleep like... I don't know. I'm dropping frames. Hang on. Let me see what's going on with my internet. Hold, please. Give it a second. I'm dropping frames like crazy. What? One sec. Let me see if I can get this fixed. Okay. I think it's okay now. Maybe. I can't tell. Alright, YOLO, whatever. Yeah, wait, I'm gonna sleep like 20 hours tomorrow night. I'm so tired, guys. I'm so tired. But that's okay, it'd be like that. The cat did what? Hello, I'm Brain Cell. The cat ate the updated autopsy report. Because it can. Yeah. Hello, Dmitry Polyakov. I'm glad you guys have made up names for the cat, because I still don't know what the cat's name is. Alright. Well, I may be tired, but that's not gonna stop me from gaming. So here we are. We are back with Ace Attorney Investigations. We're getting pretty close to the end, I think. Pretty close to the end. What has happened? President of Zenfa is dead. Fifi, the Eustace father, Mr. Winner, tried to get Fifi acquitted, but Eustace pulled through because Eustace is an adult now. He's had character development. We're very proud of him. And so Fifi is going to jail. For real now. And now we are back to investigating the main case, which is the death of the president. And there was like a kidnapping scheme. Yeah, there was like a whole kidnapping scheme where Gavel's son was abducted. And now Asian Lang is saying that Gavel and her son worked together to kill President... What's his name? President Wang. So that's honestly, I don't remember much, but I think that's what happened last week. TLDR. Alright, so here we go. We're starting off strong today with Asian Lang's accusation. Okay. But Sean was waiting down here when Gavel pushed the president off of the roof. I see. The two of them were working together. The problem of the lock goes away. They then work to hide the body together, too. They're dragging it over to the Torosaurus suit by stuffing it inside. Okay. That's what we're working with. Edgeworth is kind of sort of impressed, but also not impressed, as usual. I think the murder was really that carefully planned. It was the assassination of a world leader! It could only have been carefully planned. Gavel doesn't agree. Gavel doesn't really seem to care that she's been accused, but she cares a lot about her son being accused. Okay, Agent Lang is giving attitude. He's giving sass, but that's okay. What about motive? What reason would either of them have to kill President Wang? Good question. Who knows? But we'll find out soon enough. Okay. I guess we will. She was the last one to meet with him, and she won't tell us why. Pretty darn suspicious. Even you have to agree with that. I mean, that is true. That is true. It is quite suspicious. Gavel. That is right. It is a little sus. Yeah, Judge Gavel, don't suppose I convinced you to share any more details? And she says no. However, rest assured, should that ever change, you will be the first to know. Okay. Alright, Agent Lang is giving sass again. He's going after Sean for a second. And Sean has nothing to say to him because he's so cool. He's innocent. Alright. Still going to try and stick up for them? It's true, Judge Gavel's action certainly makes her seem suspicious, but nothing she has told us amounts to a motive for murder or even the suggestion of one. Now, like I said, I'm leaving motive aside for now. For the moment, I'm focusing on means and opportunity. And for my money, these two have to be working together for their little plot to succeed. Alright, we gotta do the rebuttal now. Oh. Alright. Maybe this will wake me up. I should have gone to Starbucks today. But I went and got fried chicken instead. It was delicious. Alright, so let's press him on what if Sean was waiting down here when Gavel pushed the president off the roof. Let's see what comes off that. Alright. He's still in elementary school, okay? Sticking out for Sean. She's a good girl. There's no way a kid that young would be involved in something like this. I think I mentioned that he's in junior. Okay. Unintentionally offensive. Lancy says, pity no wolf, be he cub or grizzled elder. Doesn't matter how young he is, if he's guilty, and he'll be treated as such. Old cubs have it hard, huh? Okay. Alright, there's no way he did this. I'm going to prove it to you. Alright, there was no clue in this conversation. Let's keep moving. Alright, let's press the fact that they were working together. The problem of the law goes away. Goes away how exactly? Now that I think about it, if I remember last string, Lan was arresting the judge, right? Does he even have authority to arrest them? I believe so. He's like an Interpol agent or something. Yeah, he's an Interpol agent. So he's the one, he's actually the one in charge of the investigation. I think. Honestly, I don't really understand how the authority of this whatever country they're in works. They make it sound like they're in America, but yeah. I don't really understand how the authority works, but I'm assuming he does. The game is implying that he does because he's the Interpol agent in charge of the case. You and I both know exactly how what. Let me make it nice and simple for you. First, she pushes the president off of the roof. And the kid opens the combination lock because he knows the code. Okay. And that's it. It's that simple. No more lock to worry about. And no more objections about her not being able to get in because she doesn't know the code. Now we explain away the problem of the lock. It's true. Alright, Edgeworth is being his usual self. You know, I feel like I've like lost a lot of information since I don't remember much of what happened. Let's a quick overview. Quick overview of the evidence. Should I need them? Torosaurus versus Gordy. Honestly, if this was a real movie, I would watch it. Right up my alley. I love monster, movies where big monsters fight each other. Long front gate, left untouched. Okay. But then why did they cut the side gate? Huh. Let's keep going. I'm slightly sidetracking because I need a refresher for my memory. A photo taken yesterday. Oh, these are the security footage. And then Miss Hart's statement. And Sean's rehearsal tape. Okay. These are the gloves. That's probably not relevant. The gloves are not relevant anymore because we already kind of... Okay, let's keep going. I needed a quick refresher of what's going on. Okay, so let's press on the fact that they worked to hide the body. The two of them were working together. Why would they need to hide the body for a full day? Look at the situation right in front of you. Thanks to a little ruse, we're still puzzling over what they were up to even now. If you let me see and clear this up, okay? They worked together to hide the body. By dragging it over to the Torosaurus suit and stuffing it inside. Alright, let's talk about that. The video footage doesn't show the inside of the suit. Can't say for certain that there was a body in there at the time, can you? Maybe not, but we can take a look right now. Alright, let's open it up! Let's open it up! Thanks, Mr. Powers! Might be a little rat. That's alright. I'll still look at it. Alright. It's filthy. That's weird. Always clean up pretty good if you don't... can get kind of moldy. The dirt in there must have come from the body. Guess the president was lying right in the middle of that footprint. Probably would have gotten pretty dirty. No, but I have a problem with that. Inside of the suit's covered dirt must be from where the body was hidden. But then, where's the yellow stuff that was on his shirt? Okay, let's press that. The dirt is from where the body was hidden inside the suit. We're assuming that it came directly from the body, correct? Of course. Okay. Dirt got everywhere, especially around the part where the chest would have been. Alright, I understand where we're going with this. I understand where we're going with this. I understand where we're going with this. Feeling quite smart right now. Feel quite smart right now. Alright, so... right here, we're going to present the president's dead body. Condescending finger wag means we got it right. So our assumption is that the inside of the suit is dirty because the dirt came from the body. Would it be safe to say that's the case? Why? Is there a problem? Maybe. The part of the suit directly from the opening is particularly dirty. But look at the victim. The area of this body that would have been in contact with that part of the suit isn't dirty at all. The victim had been crammed in there, as you suggest. His chest would surely be covered in dirt. What's my explanation? How did all that dirt get inside there? Based on the videotape, there may well have been someone in the suit at the time. So who was it that was, if it wasn't the president? Something the matter, Kay? I've seen dirt like that somewhere else, I'm sure of it. I've seen dirt like that somewhere, I'm sure of it, I just can't think where. Dirt with weird little gray bits in it. Gray bits. There's something mixed in there. Is there? We're stuck to something else we looked at. Lots of it. Huh? You know, I would really like it if they share with the class what's going on. Oh, are they talking about the... Oh. Oh. It's probably worth checking. It's one of the items we found have a similar kind of dirt stuck to it. I mean, I'm gonna YOLO and say the motorcycle helmet, the mechanic's gloves.
Take that!
As Kay pointed out, the dirt in the suit contains small flecks of something gray. And we discovered similar flecks stuck to an item belonging to somebody we recently had dealings with. The item in question belonged being these gloves. Dirt does look similar. So what? What are you saying about the stuff is? What exactly are these gray flecks of yours? Believe the gray flecks are concrete. Like all the little broken up bits around the footprint, you mean? Exactly. And who did the gloves on which we found similar dirt and gray flecks belong to? Chairman Winner! We found them in his garage. That's right. Hello, Soul Wave. Oh no, I'm late to court. All right. I will allow this one time. Just this one time. I'm just kidding. That's right. I visited the garage at his home earlier today, and we found a pair of mechanic's gloves covered in dirt. If I recall correctly, a sledgehammer and a shovel too. Why would a pair of mechanic's gloves be covered in dirt? I'll tell you why, because somebody wore them while they used the hammer and shovel. They smashed through the concrete to the dirt below, staining the glove with both substances. Yes, that we finally know what these footprints really are. It seems highly likely that they were dug by Chairman Winner. Highly likely? That's so, then tell me this. Why the heck did he make them? What purpose could they possibly serve? He was digging something up! I remember now. Eustace was like... it was left somewhere or something. I can't remember. Oh no, it was in that letter, I think. It was in this letter. Retrieve the package related to the rest 12 years ago. There we go, that's what it was. There's something on this lot that he needed to unearth. All rights from the Honorable Judge Arias. Oh. Not gonna lie. Be a pretty crappy judge. To do so, he cut the chains on the side entrance and gained access from there. Would be a pretty crappy judge. Then he used the sledgehammer and shovel to dig up the 3 footprints. And nobody heard this? That's crazy. When he found what he was looking for, he bagged it up and filled it all the holes. Then Shaw must have showed up. Think he did. Chairman Winner would have had to find a hiding place in the Torosaurus suit provided just that. Got that from a pair of dirty gloves? Asian Lang. What? Like this is your first time facing off against Ezra? It's good, but it's all just speculation. We don't have any proof that he was inside that suit. Could have dug those holes and gotten out of here before the kid even showed up. But he didn't, and there's proof of that right there in the footage. Edward, would you like to share with the class what you mean? Oh, is it this bag? Maybe that bag's the evidence. Let's see. Shows that Chairman Winner was still present when this recording was made. It's a shame that Asia Lang didn't notice it himself. Ezra, I didn't either. I'm about to guess and hope I get it right. We compare the situation as we see it now. The situation as it appears on Sean's rehearsal tape. Compare that in turn to what we saw in Chairman Winner's garage. Right here. Right here. I remember this bag. Are you Eustace? It soon becomes clear that the chairman was present. Alright, here we go. We're going with the bag. Because quite frankly, I can't think of anything else.
Take that!
I must have gotten it right because he's wagging his fingers. Look at the bag next to Latorosaurus' suit. We saw the same bag in Chairman Winner's garage. The same bag, the dirt on the gloves. That has to indicate a connection, surely. Alright, mechanics gloves data updated in my organizer. I think this pretty much seals it. It was Excelsius Winner in the suit. And if he wasn't there, the president's body couldn't happen. You're welcome, Asian Lang, for being one step closer to the truth. Somebody get to Chairman Winner's house right away! We need to know what's in that bag. Alright, here comes Lotta. And right there's Torosaurus' footprint. You know, whole dogs by no old guy. Lotta! What are you even doing here? Think I've demonstrated more than adequately that that's exactly what they are. Don't matter to me now what you just done did. I don't believe in that's that. See that big bad bull with my own two eyes? Giant eye peering in at the window. I thought we got him past that nonsense. Alright, reporters are meddling with the investigation. Asian Leg, can we get them removed? Huh? Never gonna get anywhere with these two around. Maybe if we could prove to them that that wasn't a monster either, they might finally drop it. What do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? What? What are we talking about, Kay? Prove that it wasn't a monster? I suppose there's much else for it. Let's see what we can do. Oh. Huh? What's happening?
Hold it!
Huh? Edgeworth would like them to calm down. What's going on? The monster the boy was talking to, we know what it was now. We do? Sean's rehearsal tape finally cleared out that particular mystery. Oh, that's right. The point at which Miss Nichols thought she saw Sean with Gordy. That would have been right. Oh, yeah, that's where he put up the camera. Camera for his recording. Okay, it's this thing right here. It's the camera. I remember now. I'm really doing this on the fly with my gut feeling and half a brain cell.
Take that!
It was a camera crane. That is what Miss Nichols saw, not Gordy. Sean's rehearsal tape was shot from a noticeably elevated viewpoint. A viewpoint that would only have been possible if the camera in question was attached to a crane. Oh, heck, would she make a mistake like that? I mean, it's dark. It's Nichols. You told us that you think you might need new glasses, didn't you? Yeah, my eyesight's got way worse all of a sudden. Imagine that when you thought you saw Gordy, he was quite heavily shrouded in darkness. That's right, I only really saw a silhouette. Alright. Huh? You're entirely correct, of course, about the crane as it was in the particular picture. Anyway. But didn't have a skin of sort last night. I'm not even gonna read this because I'm tired. I think it's time we finally put them both out of their misery. Alright, Gordy's skin is this lovely, beautiful fabric right here.
Take that!
Miss Nichols told us that it seemed likely to rain last night. That never happened in the end, but I think Shaw may have covered up the crane with rainproof sheeting nonetheless. And that, my interpreted young reporters, is what Miss Nichols mistook for Gordy's skin. Sorry. Alright, Sean agrees with us. Sean thinks we're amazing. Thanks, Sean. And we bow. Because, you know, we're polite like that. I'm sorry, Miss Hart, but Miss Nichols' monster was no such thing as simply a trick of the light. Sorry, Lotta. Sorry, Tabby. Alright. Oh, the kid was holding out on us. It seems I might could have maybe been a little wrong. Alright, we know what the so-called monster was now. Everybody happy? Everyone except these two. Alright, Forensic is back! Oh, they have an autopsy report now! Did she just kick a person? Yeah. Yeah, she does. Let me see it. Death was due to full-body contusions and bone breakage caused by extreme pressure from above. He didn't fall? He was crushed. He was crushed, just as we thought. President Wayne's autopsy report data jotted down my organizer. Test results then come back from the yellow substance found on his chest. They did find gunshot residue on his right hand. I'm guessing the residue is probably the glue. It was probably crushed to death by this head right here. But that's alright. My speculation, let's keep going. Substance left behind when a firearm is discharged. Its presence indicates that the president may have used a gun. Can't find a gun anywhere. No, which means the residue is something of a riddle. We'll need to read that report carefully. In Asian land, that clears one thing up at least. President didn't die from a fall, which means he wasn't pushed from the roof of a big building. He was crushed by the falling Torosaurus head, just as we said he was. Just have to accept that now. Fine, you were right. Thanks, Asian Lang. Thanks! So does that mean Judge Gaval isn't a suspect anymore either? Surely it must, but the cause and time of the death rolls her out. She met with the president the night before last. The autopsy report puts the time of death at around 11 p.m. last night, and we know that the Torosaurus head fell around then too. The facts all line up perfectly. Alright, Lane's not gonna let her off the hook yet. Sure, I think we can accept that the falling head must have been what killed the president. That begs the question, what could have caused it to fall? Or who? You know, it happened late last night, so we have to think about who was here at that time. Alright. Now he's accusing Sean of the murder. Sean's sweaty. The kid's hiding something. He was right here last night, right where the body was found. He saw the footprints, and yet he wants us to believe he knows nothing about what happened. That's a big ass, Shirley. You know what? Asia Lang is not wrong. There's a lot of secrets right now. And I love a good secret.
Objection!
We haven't yet established the footprint has anything to do with the murder, so even if he did see them, that doesn't mean he was involved. Maybe not, but his face tells me different. Yeah. There's something Sean isn't telling us. This is the fact that he's shaking like a leaf. It does seem like Agent Lang might be onto something, but I don't think Sean's going to talk. Alright, why don't we let your tape do the talking? Alright, here we go. The police has some pretty sophisticated image analysis tool these days. Alright, let's take a look at what's going on. Detective Gumshoe! Let's get Lil V up here. Alright, I request that it be you who carry out the analysis in question. Alright. Fear that Asian Lang might be inclined to believe the worst. Alright. There are new clues to be discovered somewhere in the image data, I wonder. I already forgot how this works. So we can see it's open. See, there's a bag there. I don't really remember how this thing works, so we're just gonna kind of YOLO it. Oh! Hello there! Oh. It's the president! Zoom in on the top right part of the image and look closely. It's President Van! Yes, the president. Hello, Speed and Monstein. Hello, I hope I'm not late. Oh, we're just getting to the juicy parts. We're just getting to the juicy part. Why is the president standing there? We're about to find out, or we're gonna try to find out. I guess. This doesn't look good for Sean at all. This doesn't prove anything. I didn't know he was there. You and the president were here at the scene of the crime together. Sean? What do we do? It's hard to push back against footage like that. Well, that only proves that he's there. It doesn't mean he killed anyone. Claim he knew nothing about what happened, but the president is right there with him. Sean! Got milk? Sean's got 3 in his backpack and 1 in his hand. Alright. Mom's mad now. You better spit it out, Sean. The truth is, it was all my fault. It was my fault the Torosaurus head fell off of that trailer. Alright. Alright. Sean's about to give us his confession. Not for the murder, just for the head. You got milk? Oh no, you got the real Sean Fenn here? Oh. Sweating buckets. Buckets. I went up on the roof of the trailer to prep the kit I was using, and I turned on the heater while I was there. I must have let it burning when I came back down to run my lines. Then my mom called and I left the set to go talk to her. When I came back after the call, the Torosaurus head had fallen from the roof, and the president was just there, lying next to it. Did find evidence of a fire having broken out up on the roof. It was just a tiny one, so I put it out myself. I'm sure that milk he's holding should be getting bad, right? I think, yeah, probably. Yeah, he's been drinking out of the same bottle for like the last like 24 hours. Carton, not bottle. But I still think it makes me sense. Do you get the arranged version of the epic rock guitar? Not sure. Not sure if the game plays it. Most likely, yeah. You did, that would make this whole thing just an accident. What did you do with the head after you found it on the ground? I took it apart, carried the pieces up to the roof, and put it back together again. Saying you put out the fire and moved the head back to where it fell from? In other words, you tried to cover up your tracks. It's not like I did any of this on purpose. I really did just forget to turn the heater off. When the fire had burned through the legs, the table would have collapsed. The head would have fallen down to the ground below. Fire caused the head to fall. And I also happen to have an idea about how the fire may have started. Those cans of paint thinner by the heater are pretty flammable, not a great place to keep them. Do I like milk? Not on its own. I'll drink it with like tea and stuff. But I don't dislike it. I'm pretty whatever when it comes to like food and drinks. If you haven't unlocked your show to arrange music in your settings, swap to arrange music in your settings. Oh, that's so much work. That's too much work. I'm lazy. Alright, we'll go with this for now. Go with this. This is very fitting for the tension in the scene. Was the president even doing here in the first place? How the heck am I supposed to know? I didn't see anybody, I swear. Well, the president wouldn't come to a place like this in the middle of the night. His reasons for coming here is something of a mystery, it's true. He met Judge Gavelle up on the roof 2 nights ago, but he was also here on the movie set last night. Did he come to meet Sean? Think we'll need to go over the boy's statement very carefully indeed! Alright. Alright, it is time for us to pick apart or get more information from Sean's statement. Fair, yeah. Sure, it only changes your cross-examination, pursuit, and objection music. I see. Alright, let's press him on him going up to the roof to prep his kit. You're fit and hearty young man, Sean. Spring now, surely you didn't really need to fire up that stove. Alright, Gavelle doesn't like that. He resorts to such measures even during warm weather. You try going to argue over something like that right now? He's right, of course. Alright. Sean's so funny. Sean's so funny. Okay. Nothing from that. On the MF home by jumper cables? That's a little extreme. Alright, let's press him on the fact that he must have left it running. You left it burning? You didn't think to check before you came back down the lot? I meant to, but I wasn't thinking about my line. I was thinking about my lines and the scenes and everything else. Not my fault I forgot. Everyone forgets stuff. Okay, forget so much stuff. I leave the air conditioner on Mr. Edgeworth's office and the lights. I forget that he told me never to jump off the ladder off his bookshelves or make prank calls. But the one thing I'll never forget to do is to turn off an unintended heater. Alright. Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay. You know, I feel bad for Sean. I especially feel even worse for Verity. Well, we'll see what happens here. Alright, let's press him on the fact that his mom called. Thank you for the follows! On Twitch, thank you. Appreciate it. It was the middle of the night, and the set was deserted. Or did you need to leave in order to talk to your mother? But I was supposed to talk to her. I got confused, I guess. Thought if I didn't leave, she'd find out I was out of the hotel on my own. It doesn't make sense. You know that, don't you? Camera was rolling and the mics were all live. I didn't want our conversation on that tape where anybody could hear it. Okay. So I ditched the rehearsal and ran off set as quick as I could. Alright, a little bit more information. I've swapped to Twitch because YouTube has a low delay. I think both YouTube and Twitch has a delay. Yeah. Oh, oops, I forgot to press that statement. I was pressing on this kind of not useful statement. Okay. How come you can tell her you were coming back to the set to practice your line? Because she'd have phoned the hotel and asked them to send a card again or something. Alright, and Gavel says, yes! I would have. Children really can't seem to see things from their parents' perspective, can they? It's true the other way around too, you know, Mr. Edgeworth. Alright, Sean. Let's keep going. The Torosaurus head had fallen from the roof.
Hold it!
Were there any signs that it was about to fall before you left? Don't remember, I was concentrating on my lines. The fire had broken out on the roof because of the heater you forgot to turn on. Did you really hear nothing the entire time? No, I had my headphones on. I was playing the soundtrack to the movie to help me concentrate, and I was playing it loud. So yeah, I definitely didn't hear anything. Except for the sound of your phone ringing when Judge Gavel called you. Oh, it's because his cell phone vibrated. Alright, let's press on the fact the president was just lying next to it. Did you notice anything unusual about the body? Don't know, it was dark. He's thinking. Thinking. I'm sure he doesn't, but is that really all it is? Should I push him a little more? Push him a little more! It was dark, but you knew it was a body nonetheless. He's hiding something. I better find out what. Most people would cry out for help if they saw somebody lying on the ground, and yet you didn't. Because, what was the point? He was dead. So you said, what I'm interested in is how you were able to be so sure. Why were you certain that he was dead? He was lying on the ground, the huge head was right next to him. Didn't take much to figure out what must have happened.
Objection!
I mean, most people would just assume that, you know, it was two separate incidents. Couldn't have guessed that the impact would have killed him. How did you really know? Because you checked. You checked, okay? I was scared, but I went up to the body and I looked and he wasn't breathing. Why try to hide that fact? There must be a reason. Did you tell me how the body looked at that point? I couldn't tell if he was dead at first. There was no blood or anything, so it was hard to be sure. Nothing on his clothes either. He was completely clean. Yeah, he wasn't breathing. He was clean? He was clean? He was clean? Two separate incidents? I mean, I would have assumed that someone was lying there and the head was next to them. You know, I would have automatically assumed it's a dead body until I checked. Okay, so Sean's saying that he didn't know who's dead first. There's no blood, nothing on his clothes. But we know there was something on the president's clothes. So let's go ahead and present the president's dead body. Go ahead and present the president's dead body. With suspicious yellow spots? Yeah. Alright, do you want to remind everybody? Not to backseat me. I will figure it out. Nothing on his clothes, nothing at all. Nothing. Why? Is there a problem with that? It's something you're clearly hoping that we've forgotten. Isn't that not true? Unluckily for you, we remember it rather well. I'm talking, of course, about the yellow speckles on the president's chest. No worry. I know it gets very exciting. And I know you guys mean wow. I will ask for help very specifically if I need it. But thank you, I appreciate it. I always think it's so funny. Sean's animation when he gets like scared or shocked is so funny. He like jumps back. You've studiously avoided mentioning them throughout your testimony. An absence I find suspicious to say the least. I hope for your sake that you have a satisfactory explanation. Oh no, Cabal has interfered. Allow me to explain. The yellow residue on the president's chest, I imagine it was from a bouquet of flowers, lion lilies to be precise. 2 nights ago when I met the president on the roof of the big building, I presented him with a bouquet. Oh, fancy! They're a type of lily with large yellow petals. Imagine that the substance on President Wang's chest was pollen from those flowers. They're not there in the printout from the security camera. Only because the president is in the way. Why give him flowers? That is not something I am at liberty to divulge. Alright, Agent Lane's not impressed with the secrets, and neither am I. First, you didn't tell us why you met with him, now you can't even tell us about the flowers. All I can tell you is that I gave him the bouquet. Bouquet that was nowhere near the body when it was discovered. How to explain that? Okay. Some things you won't explain, the rest you can. You wouldn't let this fly in the courtroom. What makes you think we'll accept it? Ooh! Fighting words, Agent Lang! Leave her alone. I threw the flowers away. So they were there when you first found the body? Yeah, they were right there on his chest, and they were squashed completely flat. So that's how he knew that the head fell on him. Pollen would have been smeared across his jacket front. That does explain things rather neatly. But why remove the bouquet and dispose of it? Because he knew that his mom gave him the flowers. I don't think it's a secret. I think it's pretty obvious why he threw away the flowers. There is no secret. I know exactly why Sean disposed of the bouquet. It's because he knows it's from his mom. You saw me leave the house with it, didn't you? Aw, Sean! Sean's a good boy. Like, he's so hot, so many fights to turn to find the truth. It's alright, I think he's hot too. You saw the flowers on the president's body. You remember seeing your mom with them, and felt the need to prevent her from coming under suspicion. Got it all wrong? I'm sure we got it all wrong, Sean. Alright, so bouquet data jotted down my organizer. Bouquet of lion lilies given to President Wen by Judge Gavao, recovered from on top of his body by Sean. President Wen's autopsy report data updated in my organizer. I often decorate our house with lion lilies. I imagine that's why he remembered. So flowers his mother was carrying showed up on the president's body. Because of that, he got rid of the bouquet and kept quiet about having discovered the corpse. A little too nicely for my taste? What's wrong with nice? Okay, not right now. Okay. Still our only suspect? Alright, Edgeworth doesn't agree. The finger of suspicion still seems to be pointed firmly in Sean's direction, however. You can think of far more likely culprit than the boy. The person who was holding Sean captive until only a short while ago. At a refrigeration unit in the depot. Luckily, it wasn't switched on. Poor kid might have frozen to a popsicle otherwise. He was doing his best to call out for help, which is how we found him. His had worn off by then, so he was wide awake and plenty loud. Isn't that what you were given to? On the bottom on the floor of the unit, it was even the same brand. 3 Z's, apparently super strong. 3Z. Sedative data jotted on my organizer used on both Kay and Sean during their kidnapping. Well, Agent Lang, surely that suggests that Sean's the victim, not a suspect. Somebody else was responsible, and I think they've been behind all of this. And the secret mastermind of yours was here last night, too. Can't yet say. Sadly, we just don't have anything to tie our mysterious kidnapper to the murder of the president. This is anybody else. Somebody other than Sean who could have committed the murder. President Winner, mayhaps? President Winner, mayhaps? Not quite. I can think of another. Somebody who just recently proved was right here on the movie set last night. Think he killed President Winner? I mean, I don't know! He could have! It's a possibility, right? Why not? We've proven that he was present. If he was here, he's a viable suspect as anybody else, wouldn't you say? We really have? Certainly another possibility to consider. 12 years ago, he was what? He was what? Someone tell me what happened 12 years ago! I want to know! Sorry, I'm sure all will be revealed in due time. All will be revealed in due time, but I want to know now! It's too bad Fifi's guilty. I really like Fifi. What happened 12 years ago, Angel Lang? Nothing to do with you. I thought we're friends. I think it has everything to do with me. It's clearly connected to this case. You can prove that, can't you? Go ahead, show me some proof that what happened 12 years ago has something to do with this. If you can't prove it, this conversation's over. Yeah, hold please. Hold please. I'm just to prove you need right here.
Take that!
People often say that Edward having logic is basic, but he's a genius for being able to think of these things in a matter of seconds. Yeah, it's easy for us because we're like going back and forth and pressing. And we have a lot of time to think about this, but he's literally doing this on the fly. There's a report about Bronco Knight. It was sent to Chairman Winner by Warden Lagarde. This last part in particular should be of interest to you. You achieved the package related to arrest 12 years ago in front of the planter. And that's not all. Take a look at this. This letter was sent to Rosie Ringer, the victim of the murder that happened the night before last. We don't know who sent it, but it does say this. Good luck getting your revenge for what happened 12 years ago. Yeah, Agent Lang. Agent Lang. There's a lot happening right now. Tell me what happened 12 years ago! I'm a curious George right now. Something strange is going on, Agent Lang. Miss Ringer was murdered the night before last, and President went not long after. There's a connection between the two murders. There has to be. And I believe we can trace that connection to events 12 years in the past. Am I wrong? These are old wounds you're opening up here. Insult to my family name. Agent Lang, wouldn't you rather know the truth? Also, if the old wound is festering, you gotta dig that crap out. Need to know, Agent Lang. I mean, Edgeworth wants to know it for, like, case-solving reasons. I want to know because I'm thirsty for tea. It's Agent Lang's men! They're so loyal to him! His men in black are here! We came to find you, sir. We heard you were looking into the incident from 12 years ago. Agent Lang's mad because he doesn't want them to get in trouble. I'm not your boss anymore. Get back to your duties right now. We can't do that, sir. Please, sir, I'm begging you. We all are. We have to reopen the investigation into the SS5 incident. You know you can't let it go until you figured out what happened when we can't either. This is like that scene in The Matrix where, like, what's his name? what's his name, like, duplicates himself? Clones himself inside the Matrix? Hugo Weaving, you know, he just like becomes multiples of himself. Pete Game, hello Ash. It's getting real juicy in here. The tea's getting real hot. Well, Agent Lang, seems your former underlings want the events of the past explained too. Things that easy that you could solve the case just like that. I'd like to try. I think we can together. Come on, Agent Lang. You got this. Alright, Case excited too! You're looking to a case from the past, right? I just happen to have something that'll help with that. You can give me the details of the incident, I can rustle up a little simulation for you. You don't have the files relating to the case? Access to those files is restricted. They're top secret. Beats me, somebody must have something to hide. Even I've never seen them. Everything I know, I read in newspaper articles from the time. Yeah, tell me what you know. All right, lore. The SS5 incident happened on a winter's day 12 years ago, February 10th to be precise. Your police received a call directly from the kidnapper. I've got the president of Zanfa. So he was kidnapped? Yeah, SS5 is the official designation of the president's kidnapping case. The kidnapper wanted $100 million. Okay. The last person to see the president that night was my father. Oh, Papa Lay! It's Papa Lay! Yeah, it's Kay's little thief thing. Time to uncover the past. We're going. They were together at the embassy of Zanfa until midnight on the 10th. Nobody knows what happened with the president after that until he was kidnapped. Our government did everything they could to scrap together the money. They were desperate to save him. And in the end, they succeeded and the money was handed over and the president came home safely. He's been president for 12 years? The length of time he stayed in power isn't even close to the most impressive thing about him. Agent Lam was clearly very fond of President Wang. I assume the kidnapping was thoroughly investigated? It was, but the investigation was top secret, as was the trial. The trial? So a suspect was arrested? Yeah, none other than our friend Fifi Lagarde! Oh, Fifi! Fifi, we could have been friends, Fifi! Is that why you visited the prison? Agent Lang? I want to see who I was dealing with. Oh, Fifi, we could have been friends, but you're a whole darn criminal now. Just found not guilty then, wasn't she? Yeah, my father was in charge of the president's security at the time, but they held him responsible for the kidnapping and stripped him of his duties as president's bodyguard. He stayed on the force though, and he worked the case alone, until eventually he found a suspect. The guard, and he thought she did it, but there's no way she was innocent. But they declared her not guilty and the case went cold. My father couldn't take it, he was broken mentally and physically. Finally, he quit the force altogether. So he had a solid grounds to suspect Warden Lagarde. He must have had evidence, he wouldn't have charged her otherwise. But I've never been able to see the materials from the case. Sorry, but that's all I know. So I wonder if the package that Excelsius and Fifi were talking about was evidence in said case. Ooh. What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? This is useful information, but I don't think it's enough for little thief to recreate the scene. Is there really nothing we can do? I feel bad for Eddie because Fifi kissed on the lips in case too when they met. Oh, that's true, that did happen. You look like you could use a hand. Wow. People are just showing up at this crime scene. People are just showing up. Franziska! Hello, Franziska. And Eddie. Hello, Eddie. We finally wrapped things up over at the courthouse, so we thought we'd see what you kids were up to. Is this the SS5 incident? Report? Oh, thank you, Franziska! SS5 incident case file data, Johnny Diamond organizer. Eddie and Franny, that's right. You know, it's the final case. You gotta get the whole crew, you gotta get the gang all together. Otherwise, it's even the last final case. When Phoebe Lagarde mentioned the incident from 12 years ago, I couldn't help but wonder, so I decided to look into it. And this was what Interpol provided. Thanks, Franziska. Don't get the wrong idea, Miles Edgeworth. You're no longer a prosecutor. I didn't do this for you. I did it so that a colleague could solve his father's final case. Oh, yeah, that's right! He calls him sis! I will allow it. Everything related to the SS5 incident was supposed to be top secret. Yes, but that classification was applied by the prosecutor in charge of the case. Excelsior's winner! He was the prosecutor in charge! Oh, now I'm even more curious of the content of the package laid to rest. Don't worry. Due to the outcome of this morning's case, he's been stripped of his authority. An outcome that was in no small part thanks to efforts of his own son, Eustace. Eustace has grown so much! I'm so proud of him! So in defeating his father, he made the old case file available to us. It sounds like we owe him. Prosecutor Eustace Winter is busy wrapping things up after the conclusion of the Lagarde trial. He asked me to give you a message. Leave Dad and Lagarde to me. You focus on your case over there. Oh! He's growing so much! He's growing so much. I'm so proud of him! Alex Sullivan's father's final case. Irony of this being exactly what case 3 was. It's hilarious. True. Eustace truly became the winner. Yeah, he's the real deal now. I'm proud of him. He's even starting to sound like a prosecutor, for real. Indeed he is. Gavel, aren't you proud? Aren't you proud, Gavel? Alright, let's take a look at the scene. According to the file, the incident occurred exactly where this plaza is right now. What a coincidence! April 6th, 3:25 p.m. Big Building Plaza. Okay, if you can set Mr. Thief in motion. Looks like there's more than enough here to work with. Alright, where do we want to start? My favorite use of this line was when he says it's called a human race because someone has to win it. He's funny. I'm proud of how far he come. Seems there was an eyewitness. A freelance journalist by the name of Alf Alldown. Alf Alldown. Alf Alldown. Alf Alldown. Alf Alldown. But apparently, he was killed by the culprit for witnessing the kidnapping. Awful. Oh, all fall down! Ring-a-ring-a-rosy! A pocket full of posies! And they all fall down! So clever. Oh, I have a bot. That's so clever. So clever. So this is where he saw it happen. As in the big building. Construction of the big building only began a year ago. Before that, it had been a piece of abandoned property. And before that, it was the embassy of Zangfa. 12 years ago, this place would have been the Happy Family Home. Oh, I did not see that coming. The Happy Family Home? Like for retired people? No, I think for children. It was a place for children without parents. An orphanage, in other words. The president was kidnapped from an orphanage. The place was run by Fifi Lagarde. Fifi again! No wonder she wants her prison to be a happy family. Damn, you call a name pun really fast? Usually the side characters or witnesses who die, you know, smaller characters have punny names. Especially when they're spelled funny. She called it her happy little home, like her prison. As the proprietor of the institution, I suppose it's understandable that she came under suspicion. President Wen, Excelsius winner, and Warden Lagarde. Surely the SS5 incident must be related to our current case. Alright, here we go! It seems sensible to assume that he was killed by whoever kidnapped the president. So if we solve the murder, we solve the kidnapping. Alright. Make it work, girl! Oh, Rosie must have been trying to get revenge for the journalist who was killed by the kidnapper. I see. It's all coming together. It's a simulation, Sean! What we're seeing here is the front yard of the orphanage as it was 12 years ago. At least as far as the police reports describe it. This is how it looked when they started investigating at 7 a.m. the morning after the murder. And it seems it had been snowing. From what I heard, the footprints wound up being pretty important evidence. The snow fell in the daytime the previous day. In other words, before the incident occurred. Meaning that none of the relevant footprints would have been obscured by new snow. I think we'll need to pay these footprints some special attention! Investigation time! Orphanage, alright. Wish you could have something like Little Thief and IRL. Same. Alright, let's get a feel of the map. It's quite a bit. Oh, it's a polar bear! Hey, Eddie, what's up? Oh, there's animals everywhere here, too. Alright. Let's start left to right. Let's start here. In this corner. Alright. Lana's having a good time. Tabby's having a good time. Alright. Anyway, we'll let them have their fun. Alright, so there's some footprints here. These footprints stopped by the body. I guess that means it belonged to Mr. Alldown. His feet were pretty big, about a size 12. According to the file, they were the same size as his shoes. It's a match. Okay. Alright. It's over here. It's a porch swing with an elephant's face on it. Kinda just what appears to be a motor. You know what every dedicated swing fiend always wonders, don't you? No. They can swing all the way over the top and back again. No. Maybe a motorized swing could finally make that dream come true. No. No. Alright, Kay's off into her own world. Hello, Judge Gabal. Tell me about Sean. I cannot thank you all enough for returning Sean safely to me. I can hardly bear to imagine how I would have felt if he had not come home. And to see her upsetting her. Sorry! He really loves his mom. Even though he's all, you know, he's all rebellious right now, he really loves his mom. I'd like to apologize again. I failed in my duty as a servant of justice. I will not ask you to forgive me. Only ask you to understand that. It's alright! I don't presume to know the goddess of justice as well as you do, but she was a mother, was she not? Of course, of other gods and goddesses. Your judgment requires personal circumstances to be taken into account. I'm sure she would understand. Perhaps your beloved goddess is more merciful than you give her credit for. You're welcome, Gavel. What have they been talking about? Don't worry about it, Sean! Kay doesn't know either. Alright, tell me about Fifi's trial. So things are finally settling down after Warden Lagarde's trial. It would seem so. Sentencing is still to come, but the guilty verdict should stand. Do not worry, Excelsius Winter's connection to the case will be thoroughly investigated. Have faith, Mr. Edgeworth. Eustace is a changed man! He simply had some growing to do, but then don't we all, Kay included. There's some pretty mean things, but I'll make it up to him next time I get the chance. I'm sure that chance will come. But for now, we need to focus on the case at hand. Alright, let's see what Judge Gavel knows about... Oh yeah, we should read this. Oh, nothing we didn't already know. Both Chairman Winter and Warden Lagarde were involved in this case, or at least so it would seem. And that's not all. Alf Aldown and President Wang too. We need to find out what links their deaths. Perhaps a secret lies here somewhere. Alright, let's keep going. She doesn't have anything to add to the case. I was hoping she would, but you know. Now is not the time. Alright, thank you, ma'am. Okay, let's see if Sean has anything to say. Wonder if you could tell us a little more about the circumstances surrounding your kidnapping. It took you when you went to the garbage disposal, right? Or what were you doing there? Just ask me himself. Okay. I went to the garbage disposal to throw away the flowers that were on that body. It wasn't far and I figured they'd be less likely to find them there than if I threw them in a garbage can. I tried to get in there last night too, but it was locked. So you had to come back today and try again. But when I was there, somebody came up behind me and put something over my face. Okay. The fact that she was drunk with it too doesn't seem to bother her. Whoever it was pretty strong, but I never saw their face. See, thank you. That's very helpful. Alright. What can you tell us about the time between when you were kidnapped and when you were found? Seems 3. Oh, she's having fun with the name. I remember waking up feeling cold. I was somewhere big, empty, and dark. There were cardboard boxes with some other languages written on them. I figured it must be a storeroom. It was actually a giant refrigerator. Business used them to keep stuff chilled. And that's where Kay and Detective Gumshoe found him. They really saved the day there. Guess the cooler must have been on until just before I was brought there. Like I said, it was pretty cold. Anyway, they didn't take my phone for some reason, so I used that to call for help. Okay. It's not the most gracious child I've met. Okay. Not much else to gain from Sean. Just wanted to make sure. The swing. There are burn marks on this pillar here. The report says there was a fire sometime on the evening of the incident. Where was it again? One of the orphans set a fire with some kerosene. Some sort of prank, probably. Sound like a lively bunch. Possibly too lively. Seems the antics spoiled our chance of finding any footprint near the entrance of the building. Alright, one of the children set the orphanage on fire as a prank sometime during the event, evening before the incident. Fire data jotted down my organizer. Alright, what's this? We got some flowers here. These planters. According to the case file, the yard stretched around 3 sides of the orphanage. And there were 3 planters on each side. The yard stretched around... Okay, so that must be where Excelsius and Fifi hid their stock. One we've seen somewhere before. Shame there aren't many flowers, but I guess it was the middle of winter. Look at that one, the bright yellow. Oh, and there's only one. Looks like somebody dropped it. That's a lion lily, if I'm not very much mistaken. A rare member of the family lily. Oh, it's also a lion lily? Didn't Judge Gov give President Wen some lion lilies? What is the same flower doing here? This can't be a coincidence, can it? I believe this particular cultivar is from Asia, where it's said to symbolize the bond between parent and child. Thank you for your flower knowledge, Francisca. Okay. Alright, let's keep going. This arch, we've seen it somewhere before. It's the same one that stands over the entrance of the big building today. The whole time, since the architect worked the old archway into the structure of the new building. Future is simply the past reheated. I think I heard that somewhere. 12 years is a long time to reheat something for if it was your lunch. Alright, okay. Alright, let's take a look at this body. Off all down, the men who witnessed the president's kidnapping. What exactly did he see? Based this part of the recreation on one of the crime scene photos. Seems he suffered a blow to the back of the head. From that brick right there. Figure it must have been taken from right here in the yard. Seems like the blood flowed from the head wound and spread over the surrounding area. This is Mr. Aldwin's autopsy report. Victim was struck on the head and died at around 1 a.m. on February 10th. Is that all it says? Giving a lot of evidence. Believed to have been murdered during a call where he was detailing something he had witnessed. February 10th at approximately 1 a.m. 12 years ago was the time of death. Cause of death, loss of blood resulting from a blow to the back of the head with a brick. Are those shoes not a little too big for him? I'm just saying. I feel like these shoes are a little too big for him. But alright, let's keep going. Let's investigate the crime scene now. Oh, oops, I pressed something by accident. Alright, I want to look at his body. Elf all down. Freelance journalist, killed after witnessing the kidnapping of President Wang. Even the recreation is pretty gruesome. It's even worse than the actual crime scene photos. That's a lot of blood. It seems mostly to have come from the back of his head, as you can see. That area is completely caked. The autopsy report says that's where he was hit with the brick. Imagine his attacker must have snuck up on him from behind. Looks as if he's clutching something in his right hand. They mentioned that in the file somewhere. According to this, it was a button. Torn from the attacker's clothing, perhaps? Bloody button jotted down in my organizer. Found clutched in Aldwin's right hand. The blood is his. Curious about his shoes. Is nothing of interest here? Really? Footprints were a key part of the case. There was information about the shoes in the file, correct? Your size 12 feet were clean. No corns, no athlete's foot. Beige socks, thermal underwear in the same color. He dressed old guy stuff. That's it for the fashion rundown. Shout out to whoever left these amazing helpful comments. Are those shoes not too big for his feet? Alright, we'll come back to that. Maybe I'm jumping ahead. Alright, somebody's dropped a yellow lily flower here. It's a lion lily. Okay. Alright. Let's look at this phone right here. The cell phone must have belonged to the victim. Says here in the file that Mr. Aldown made a call when he was watching the kidnapping. To whom? His girlfriend. Seems he called her when he saw that the president was there. She didn't pick up, so he left a message. That's in here too, if you want to hear it. Yes. Hey, Rosie, it's me. I guess you're asleep already. Anyway, I'm here at the orphanage. Something weird's going on. President Wayne's here for some reason, and there's another. The light's out, so I can't quite see, but it looked like he was being kidnapped? Anyway, probably nothing, but I thought I should let you know. What are those sounds at the end? He must have been attacked while he was still on the phone. Ask you something? Mr. Owen's girlfriend, what was her name? Ringer. Rosie Ringer! At least that's what I heard. The victim of yesterday. Just as I thought. Her revenge for what happened 12 years ago. All Miss Ringer was left with were the memories and personal effects of her lover. And so seeking revenge on Chairman Winter, she made her appearance at the auction. For off all down, it looks like he did fall down. Yeah. So she really was out for revenge on Chairman Winter, wasn't she? Perhaps it was for suppression of the kidnapping. Or perhaps it's because she thought he was one of the kidnappers. Alright, Mr. Owen's final call data jotted down my organizer. Now let's look at this brick right here. This was the brick used in the murder, found by Owen's body to come from somewhere nearby. Stuff made of bricks all around the yard here. They probably took it from somewhere nearby. Alright, hang on to that information. Camera! So the victim was carrying a camera. According to the file, they recovered a picture. Here we are. Oh my! Oh my! The president, right? Somebody's pointing a gun at him. Oh, curious! Very curious! The snowman is missing a button eye. This must be what Mr. Aldown witnessed. The person in the trench coat is the kidnapper? I imagine they were trying to conceal their identity. If Agent Lang's father's theory was correct, the person wearing the trench coat is Warden the guard. And they only found one picture. He probably wasn't able to take any more before he was attacked. Mr. Aldown's photographs data jotted on my organizer. Alright, let's take a look at it. Just from his name alone, you figure out the Rosie thing. You're a genius using logic just like Edgeworth does? Edgeworth too. I feel like there's a lot of context clue. There's a lot of foreshadowing. There's a lot of foreshadowing. Let me see. Alright. Curious. It was the snowman apprehended before continuing his wrongdoings? I thought you were a fan of Jack Frost! Rondo, what happened? You giving up on your boy like that? A little quick. Oops, I didn't finish investigating. It's a little quick. I want to take a look at these footprints. Oh, we're not gonna look at them? Alright. Alright, I think we finished investigating the body for now. The igloo shaped like a bear, the perfect balance of cuteness and scariness. A big glue! Alright. It is quite large, you could probably fit as many as 3 people inside it. And they could live in there for 3 whole years. Alright. You always gotta forget your day was when you're up in line! Yeah. You're breaking Jack Frost's heart around here. Sup, Eddie? Looks chilly than your chilliest look out here, Miserino. Something might have to warm me up. You're a Kaimeister anything. Can't believe this whole sorry tale began right here. Kinda crazy, right? Is a little. What were Thieves and Chairman up to? Where were they going with all this? And I'd very much like to know when you two are going to admit it. How much you love your Uncle Eddie. Alright. Yeah, he did take it seriously for about 3 sentences. We'll let that go. We'll let that slide. Alright. Look at these turtles! A tortoise and a hare, inspired by the children's story, no doubt. The tortoise races the speedy hare and wins. Why did the hare lose the race? She's giving us 3 options. Number 1, the hare's favorite running shoes were stolen by the Yatagaras. Wait, what? Number 2, the tortoise trained with the Yatagaras and got so fast that he went, what? Number 3, the real winner was the Yatagaras. Wait, what? Alright, you have a good time, Kay. You go have a good time. Alright, let's take a look at these. These footprints go towards the body and come back. According to the case file, they're thought to be the killers. They're about a size 9, pretty average in other words. Seems the police weren't able to track down who the murderer was from them, though. Let's see. Alright. Hello, Agent Lang. You alright there, buddy? 3 planters, covered with snow. Is anything the matter, Agent Lang? Something's not right. I wasn't able to look at the case file until now. But what's weird is I've seen this scene somewhere before. Huh? But where? I keep thinking I've got it, but then it's gone. He appears to be lost in his efforts to remember. Perhaps I should leave him alone for now. But I want to know about your father and the president. President Wang changed after the SS5 incident. I guess he felt his trust had been betrayed. I can understand that. It's cut ties with my family completely after how close we've been for all these years. My father was desperate to make amends, to get just one chance to say sorry. But no matter how many times he tried to get an audience with the president, he couldn't. Couldn't even convince him to take a letter to him. One time he came home covered in bruises. Who knows from where? A bodyguard maybe. Aww. No, it's alright. I'm sorry, Agent Lang. Alright, let's talk about the SS5 incident. The case ruined my father and my family too. People who failed to keep the president safe, that's all we were after that. He threw himself heart and soul into the investigation. He became obsessed, in other words, hardly the best state of mind in which to undertake an inquiry. No, Ezra never pulls his punches. Just don't go thinking I'm only doing this for my dad, okay? That investigation was solid. His work was meticulous and was accurate. Always was. He interviewed every single one of those kids, and he made sure they told him everything. I wonder if he learned anything of value. There's no interview information in here. Alright. Well, we'll come back. Hello, Man in Black. Can we count off for old time's sake? Oh, they're gonna count off! They're gonna count off! It just doesn't feel the same on my own. It's kind of lonely. Shouldn't matter if this is one of you or 100. You may be on your own here right now, but the pack is always with you. So quit whining about being alone hell like you mean it. Is he crying? He's just very moody. He's very emotional right now. All right, let's take a look at this snowman. This looks like a snowman, but it's mostly melted. It's no wonder he's so slushy. He's wearing... Wait. So the photo was taken from this angle. So the snowman's right here. There's the light. She was taking it this way, and then so the president and the Suspect was standing here. Okay, got it. Alright. Talking about the snowman some more. Not much else is coming from this. Why did that genuinely warm my heart? It's because it's sweet. Oh, I wasn't paying attention to their conversation about the snowman. I was busy thinking about the angle of the photo. Alright. Francisca! Oh. Did you dare tell anybody? I'll just deny it anyway. Wait, what? What's the matter, detective? It's about the SS5 incident. You know, Chairman Winter isn't in charge anymore and all, but a top secret file being available to us so quickly after his removal, something seemed off. So that got me thinking. I put in a call. They told me that, that Miss Von Karma went to some pretty extreme lengths to get that file released. Francisca's so nice. Thanks, Francisca. Your efforts won't be for nothing. Yeah, we'll solve this case. Alright, I think we have all the evidence we need right now. I don't think we missed anything. Let's keep going. Just make sure we looked at everything. There's nothing else to look at. And then, alright. Three footprints, 3 planters. Connect that. So that's what our monstrous hoof prints really were. Recall the arrangements of the prints now compared to that of the planter. Believe the footprints are located exactly where our planters once stood. The chairman when it was digging around the front of them. He was, and why might he have been doing that? We have a piece of evidence in our possession that answers exactly that question. Alright. I've only talked about it like 60 million times, so I shan't speak about it for much longer. I'm simply going to present the evidence. Recall, if you will, the report that Warden Lagarde sent to Chairman Winter. In it, she mentioned something that had been laid to rest in front of a planter. She's telling him where to dig. Why 3 holes? Because the report didn't specify which of the planters she meant. So he wasn't sure which one it was, which meant he had to try and dig up all 3. Imagine so, yes, poor Chairman Winter. Why go to all that trouble? What was he looking for? I think that's about all we can learn from the scene for now. How about I try to show you how things looked early on that night? That would be very much appreciated. Could you take us back to the moment at which the victim witnessed the kidnapping? I'll use the photograph he took. Here goes nothing. Alright, we're not done investigating yet. There's quite a bit more work to be done. It's Mr. Old down the middle of the planters. Okay, so the person that hit him is the the person that hit the journalist is a different person from the person who was threatening the president. It's Mr. Old down the middle of the planters. And there's the president and his kidnapper out by the road. Father based his investigation on the evidence All Down provided. That was why he thought the kidnapping and the orphanage were connected somehow. How he wound up suspecting Fifi Lagarde. She was the one running the orphanage at the time. But when the case went to trial, Excelsius went and put a big hole in that theory. He did? After all, the president and the kidnapper weren't actually on the grounds of the orphanage, so it was hard to conclusively prove any kind of connection. I see. They were never seen inside the gates of the orphanage. Detectives bust the gut to find evidence on the scene, and the prosecutors come along and twist it to their own ends. Winter and Lagarde were working together. They had some kind of deal, I'm sure of it. You're saying that Chairman Winter was working with the kidnapper? Okay. Father was convinced that Lagarde was the culprit, correct? And you say he was the gifted and thorough investigator. And he must have had more to support his theory than just Mr. Olddown's message, surely. He must have, I just don't know what it was. It wasn't exactly a case he liked talking about. Agent Lang's father, Da Long Lang. Trusted ally and confidant of President Wang. Discovered truths that were subsequently suppressed by Chairman Winner. Our first priority should be to find out what they were. Alright, here we go. Alright, so the burn marks are still there. Okay. Okay. This isn't anything new. 1:15 a.m. But when did the murder occur again? 1 a.m. Around 1 a.m. Okay. Well, let's take a look at this murderer. Mr. Alden took his picture of the president's kidnapping from here, and then called Rosie Ringer, at which point his killer must have already approached him from behind, the brick in their hand, ready to strike. Alright, so here's President Wang. Dijing Wang. He was president of Zanfa even back then. Does he look any younger? It's kind of dark, can't really tell. The situation being that what it is, his facial expression is somewhat distorted. I wonder where they took him after this. We don't know yet, but depending on how our investigation progresses, we may find out soon enough. There's something gloomy about this picture. To brighten up a little, made the subject stand out a little better. I don't think the lack of light is the photographer's fault. Okay, the street light appears to be broken. So you think the idea was to make the suspect's object stand out with lighting, but maybe it didn't pan out? Wait, what? Alright, so here's the president's kidnapper. We should see if we can judge anything based on their appearance. Let's have a look at you. First thing to note is that they're holding the president at gunpoint. Trying to look all cool and tough, waving a pistol around, whatever it is, they suck. Their coat and hat completely cover their face, unfortunately can't identify them that way. Turning their collar and pulling their hat down, trying to be all mysterious. I hate this kidnapper. They seem pretty relaxed, I don't think they're particularly nervous. Okay. Let's kill a snowman. Yes, the snowman was melted in the simulation the morning of the murder. The muffler was all wet. Its a little button eye has fallen off. Still look reasonably healthy at this point, although not entirely. I can see one thing that's missing. I know where we're getting at. There's plenty of clue right there. One of the orphans took it? I'm not so sure here. In fact, I think it was grabbed by somebody else entirely. But if that's true, how did the button end up the photographer's hand when it's right here? When it's so far? Then he would have to be much closer.
Eureka!
The snowman is missing a certain something, wouldn't you say? Luckily, we managed to locate it. Button Mr. Olddown was holding. Same type of button as the other eye and everything. And if we suppose that the button was indeed the snowman's missing eye, that presents something of a contradiction. Button contradict the victim's location. The victim was clutching the button, and the button was covered with his blood, which means he must have grabbed it after being attacked. Let's run a little hypothetical, shall we? What if after being struck, Mr. Aldman lost his balance and reached out to grab something to steady himself, the snowman? The snowman wouldn't have supporting him, so he would have grasped the button and continued falling. You get it? So you're saying that he was near the snowman when he was attacked. An arm's reach, to be precise. He's currently nowhere near that close. His footprints only go as far as the planner. He never came back this way. What if they weren't his footprints? I think we need to look at all the prints again. Ever since the beginning, the snowman was so damn obvious, always tricked me. How long it took for them to notice it? Wow. You know, like gameplay. There's a certain way, a certain order of events you must go through when it's a game. Footprint on the left definitely match up with Mr. Alden's shoes. So what's the deal? Let's take another look and see if we can figure it out. Can we really be sure that these are Mr. Alden's footprints? They're the same size at 12. I don't think they're his. And the prints match his shoes. We just go straight to the middle of the planner where his body was found. As we established, when he was attacked, he fell and grabbed the bottom of the snowman. Alright. Those shoes aren't his. I'm telling you. Those shoes aren't his. They're way too big on his feet. Right here. These shoes, as the case file says, they match the footprint, but these aren't the victim's shoes, I'm sure of it. Look at how the laces are tied. Don't they look a little strange to you? What's more, they don't appear to fit properly. So I'd be saying! I was a little ahead of myself, but that's okay. Also proof I'm not paranoid and this is actually a piece of evidence. Victim shoes, data jotted down by organizer. Not actually Alden's shoes. They appear to have been placed on his feet by the culprit after the murder took place. So these prints, they go right up where the victim was found. They stop right on by his feet. But they don't actually belong to him. So are the prints by his head his? The ones that lead away and come back? Yeah, I don't think so. They're too small. So neither set belongs to him. Then how did he get here? He didn't walk. He was carried by the killer. There are signs indicating that Olddown's body has been moved from elsewhere. So then where did the murder take place? Was it really over by the snowman as we suspect? Alright, I think that's all we can do for now. Body was moved. Body was moved. I don't think this is connected, but I can't think of anything else to do right now. Alright, let's get out of here for now. I can't see a clear connection between any of the evidence. I think Mr. Olddown's body was moved. How else do we explain the button clutch in his hand? And that would suggest that he was killed somewhere near the snowman. Alright, we're gonna take a closer look here now. Okay, so here's the snowman. It's not looking good. No, he got his eyes gauged out and then he melted. Here are the footprints. Size 9 footprints going towards the body and away from it. The case file says they must belong to the murderer. The fainter as they get closer to the orphanage gates. That's just because there's less snow over there, no? Be that as it may, certainly doesn't help in matching the prints up with the name and the face. Alright, here's where the brick came from. There's a brick missing here. On the other side of the fence? The other side of the fence? The rest of the brickwork looks fine. Stranger just wants me on the other side of the fence? If he was... He took a photo from this side. So, logically, you would assume he got hit over here, but then the brick came from this side? Interesting. Alright, well, let's put that together. Alright, missing brick and the brick used in the murder. It seems quite likely that the missing brick was the one used in the murder, wouldn't you say? Now that you mention it, they have the exact same shape and size. So the body was moved and the brick by the snowman. Put that together and see if we get anything new. I think we have to conclude that the murder actually happened over by the snowman. The bottom came from there, and the brick too. And what's more, if the murderer took the brick from right by the snowman and then tried to sneak on the victim all the way over by the planters, Mr. Owen would have seen them right away. Exactly. I think we need to update the simulation, Kay. Mr. Owen wasn't standing by the planters, he was next to the snowman. Well, that doesn't make any sense! Everybody who was present is in the exact same spot. So where do we go wrong? One of the pieces of evidence on which we base our simulation must be the source of the problem. What if one of them was faked somehow? I think the photo is faked. Oh, wait! Okay. If he already has the button in his hand, then he would already be dead. How did he take this picture? Someone else took this picture. The picture was staged.
Take that!
Can we really be certain that this picture was taken by Mr. Olddown? We know that whoever killed him moved his body. But why would they have done that? What if they wanted to make it seem like he saw something he didn't? They took the photo to help back up the lie? They held the president at gunpoint. They could easily have forced him to pose for the picture. He would have had no choice but to comply. They only recovered one picture from Mr. Olddown's camera, right? Imagine his killer probably removed the film that was already in there, and replaced it with another, thereby ensuring that the only picture found was the one they staged. Makes total sense. This picture was actually taken after Mr. Olddown was killed. Well, of course! The button was already in his hand! He would have been dead already! Stage photograph taken after Olddown was killed. There you have it. The picture doesn't show what Mr. Olddown saw at all. It seems highly likely that it was simply staged to make us believe that was the case. So where was the president when Mr. Olddown thought he was being kidnapped? Luckily, the photograph is the only piece of evidence we can try to figure that out. I think we should listen back to it one more time. Alright. Take a look. Can I have a look at the evidence? Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright. If I scroll back far enough. No. Oh, he did say the light was dark. So it would have been over here. Probably.
Take that!
Recall the statement from Mr. Olddown's voicemail. The light's out. 2 of the lights here in the yard are broken. You must be talking about the one over by the building. Alright, so let's update the simulation. And there we have it. The kidnapper was really standing over by the building, which would certainly have strengthened the theory that they were connected to the orphanage. So they moved the body and staged the photograph to distort the picture painted by the voicemail, which helped them undermine the idea that the orphanage was involved when the case went to trial. And you were worried for evidence and then remember the statement yourself? That's awesome. That's not idea what it. I don't know what it is. Oh. I was real worried for a second. I was like, oh, I don't remember what was in the voicemail. What do you mean? But somehow I remembered. Somehow we remembered. That certainly changes what this particular part of the simulation tells us. I imagine it will also affect our understanding of the scene from when the body was found. Only one way to find out. Ready to make the jump? Okay. Alright. There's no mistaking it. This is where Mr. Alldown was actually took his picture before being attacked by the murderer with the brick from the planter just behind him. Yeah, because I was like, it doesn't make sense because if the photo was taken where it was, then the brick would be on the opposite side. Like, why would they take the brick from the opposite side and go around and to hit him from the other side? Body would have been here at first and not where we thought it was before. Examine the area where we previously thought it fell to. Mr. Alldown wasn't killed here between the planters at all. And what's his blood doing here? Things have changed considerably in terms of what the simulation is showing us. If we want to look more closely at this blood, I think we'll be better off looking at the simulation from the point at which the body was discovered. Okay. We'll talk to Kay in a second. Let's take a look at this. This is where Mr. Alldown actually saw the president and his kidnapper, which pretty clearly suggests a link between the kidnapping and the orphanage. You can see why so much trouble was taken to suggest that it happened elsewhere. He pulled some really dirty tricks there. Making a photo like that, that's just cheating. So maybe the fire has nothing to do with the prank and everything to do with the kidnapping. Not to mention disposing of Mr. Alldown's camera film and forcing the president to pose at gunpoint. I wonder if they burned the film. These must have put in some new film, they staged the photo immediately afterwards. Convenient of them to have the film on hand. If Chairman Winner was involved, oh, he probably just took one off the journalist. He could have changed or hidden other evidence as well. It certainly doesn't help that the SS5 instant case file was classified until just recently. Can really be sure that these are Mr. Alldown's footprints. They're the same size, 12, which is pretty big. And the prints match his shoes. They also go straight to the middle of the planters. But as we've established, when he was attacked, he fell and grabbed the bottom of the snowman. Okay, this is just Kay repeating something she said before. Okay. I don't think there's anything else to do in this simulation. I think it's time for it to switch to the other side. Alright, Kay. Switch it up, Kay! Alright, I want to go take a look at the... There we have it. Alright. Somebody's dropped the yellow flower, lion lily. Bond between parent and child. Blood on the snow, a lot of it. Certainly looks as if a murder occurred here. Just Figure out that Mr. Old Down killed over by the snowman. I think this blood might belong to somebody else. There were 2 bodies that night. The police report said the blood was from Olden's. Need I remind you that the case is overseen by Chairman Winner? The man would have no scruples about altering the official record over something this small. And he had just cleaned up the blood instead. He wasn't able to. He knew that this was where the police would find Mr. Olddown's body, and he knew that the police would have certain scientific methods at their disposal to look for clues. Yeah, they would have found traces of blood. They used that for sure. He wouldn't have been able to clean it up to the point where it was undetectable. But far easier to falsify the results of any such test when they came back in. It would simply have been a matter of replacing the official result with a doctored copy. But it says Mr. Olddown's clothes were covered with blood too. It does, and they were, which seems entirely believable. It suggests that whoever's blood it wasn't yet dry when Mr. Olddown's body was placed here. Which means that the other person's blood was spilled not long before Mr. Olddown was killed. If that's the case, we're dealing with 2 dead bodies. That presents something of a contradiction. Left on the blood scene of murder 12 years ago, the blood wasn't Olddown's, mysterious blood stain. But then what caused this blood? Let's see if there's anything else. This is the only part where there's no snow and no blood. So the fire one of the kids set, I imagine the snow melted as a result. This must be the unluckiest orphanage in the world. First the fire, then the murder. Fire came first. Why would the fire come first? Does it cause the snow to melt? Or something else was there? Interesting line right there. The body where it should be now, over by the snowman. Kinda sad nobody being here anymore. And now that the body is gone, there may be new clues for us to discover. Okay. We've looked at everything there. Alright, let's take a look at Mr. Olddown's body now. So this is where Mr. Olddown really met his fate. He was moved in order to make the scene consistent with the staged photograph, over to the spot between the planters. So the footprints, the fact that they go over there and back, tells us something important. They were left by whoever carried him over there. Okay, let's do some more deduction. I think is what's needed right now. I don't know if these connect, like whether Winner was involved or what did Winner dig up. I'm just gonna try and see what happens. Okay, they do connect. Chairman Winner was involved in President Wang's abduction. Then it seems likely that whatever he dug up yesterday has something to do with the kidnapping. We're talking treasure, right? He must have been digging up the ransom money. The ransom money? $100 million is an awful lot of cash. Burying it would have been a good way to keep it hidden until the heat died down. Certainly seems like a possibility. Alright. Monster footprint data updated and organized. The concrete was broken, the earth exposed, the Excelsius Winner dig up the ransom money. But the fire came before the incident. So why? Shouldn't there be snow now?
Eureka!
Okay. The snow was melted by the fire. When did the fire happen? We need to take another look and think about that. It just did. One of the children set the orphanage yard on fire as a prank sometime during the event before the incident. Then why is it melted here? Let me think about this. Wouldn't the fire have occurred after the snow? Wait, when did it start snowing? Hang on, let's take a look. I need more info. Okay, it doesn't tell us anything about that. One of the children set the orphanage yard on fire as a prank sometime during the evening before the incident. I found the scene of murder 12 years ago. The blood wasn't staged photograph. We know. Hang on. Switch recreations. Okay, let's take a look at how things were when the president was picked. It wants me to go back to the other simulation. If you're stuck and trying to help, it's more fun seeing you figure it out by yourself. Yeah, I'm gonna try for a little longer and then see. I don't think... One thing I will say is you're on the right track about the fire. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Because why would... I just don't know how to go about proving it. Sometimes the logic of proving things in this game is a little convoluted for me. Alright, I'm gonna have Kay go back. Wait, Kay go back. The fire has to be set after the murder. Because it doesn't make any sense that it was set before the murder. Because why would the blood just stop there? Why would the blood stop just there? Alright, let's go back. Okay. I accidentally double-clicked it. Okay. Let's deduce on the bloodstain and see what happens.
Eureka!
Woo! There's a clear contradiction here. The bloodstain can tell you what you're supposed to do to prove it, but you have to. Oh, never mind. I got it. Thank you. Thank you. I figured it out eventually. The blood is clearly cut over the snow was melted by the fire, which means that the blood in question was spilt before the fire was started. The fire happened before the murder. No, only if you take their word for it. If we choose to believe the case file, yes, but if fire was actually set after what happened here, kid who lit it might have seen something. And why isn't there a witness statement? Because that would have challenged Chairman Winter's version of events. We need to know more about this fire. Man in Black is on it. The fire might have been reported to the police, which means that there might be a record of it. Go see if they have anything and bring everything you find back here right away. Is this she would contact my family back in Zanfa? Tell them to search my father's office. There should be something there related to the case. What kind of something exactly? I told you I've seen this scene somewhere before, didn't I? Well, now I remembered where. It was in my father's office. He had a picture of it, or at least of something very much like it. It looked like it was drawn by a child. Oh, possibly a child from the orphanage. Possibly even the child who set the fire. It should still be there somewhere. Tell them to send it right away. Alright, we're making progress. I'm making progress. Investigation complete! And I recover my lost HP. Thanks, Kay. Thanks, Kay, for your contribution. The Man in Black is back. I brought everything the police had on the fire, and I also brought the picture from your father's office. And one more let's take a look at this mysterious picture, shall we? It's a picture Wait! Is that who I think it is? So there's the Lion Lily. There's the president. And then there's the plushie of the Torosaurus. And that right there is Canis and his dog. Oh my. This photo traumatized you when I saw it? I feel like the child who drew was traumatized too. Oh, oops. It's a picture I remember. Could this be a depiction of something that happened on the night of the incident? Sure looks like a kid drew it, huh? And I'm willing to bet it's the work of the child who set the fire. Child's drawing. A picture drawn by the child who caused the fire during the incident 12 years ago to depict what he saw the night of the incident. It's Dimitri Polyakov in the photo! No, there's no cat! Only a dog. And now, look. No, let him talk. Where do you think my father kept this? I imagine he acquired it at some point during his investigation. Agent Lane, I'm very interested in what Men in Black has to say. Do we see the case file for the fire too? You just give me a moment to read through it. My bad Pip thought it was a cat! To be fair, it's a kid's drawing. So, you know. Could easily be mistaken as a cat. I only know for sure because I know who the character is. Balled my eyes. Seems the boy who started the fire snuck out of bed on the evening of the incident. And then disappeared several days later. Must be because he saw something, right? Okay. Sadly not unimaginable. Looks like the kid left something behind that was put into evidence. Oh! It's the horn of the stuffed animal! What's it doing in that case file? Have you seen this before? Absolutely! Something very much like it, yes. We have a piece of evidence that could well be connected.
Take that!
I don't know what it was doing the evidence for that case, but it looks like that might be the missing horn from the soft toy. That was President Wang's. Seen it before? Of course, he always kept it somewhere close by. I remember it because of the missing piece. There's a special device inside it that plays recorded sound when you twist the horn. You think maybe putting the horn back might unlock more recordings? You never know. The toy itself should still be up on the 51st floor. Angelette, I want to hear what else he has to say! Alright. Is the horn found in the orphanage for the president's plushie? It's so cute! I want a Torosaurus plushie now. It fits perfectly. Any more recordings on there? Hi, Dejan. Sorry, President Wong. It's me, Emily. Emily? I know. Amelie? I know it's been a while. I saw on the news that you were visiting the country soon. And I didn't know whether I should get in touch at all, but in the end I decided I had to. Fair enough right now. It's gone to Judge Gavel. The horn was what the men in black had to say. Oh, I see. Let's turn it off. You see? I had a baby, a beautiful little... You're beautiful little... I'm sorry, that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you. Oh, except I called him... Sean is the president's son! Oh my god! Except I call him Sean. Sean Fan has a nice ring to it, don't you think? I think it's pronounced Amelie. It's French. I see. And also that I'll be at the orphanage on the evening of the 9th. I'll be waiting in the front yard. I thought you could meet him if you like, even if it's only just this once. I know you're a very busy man, but anyway, that's where we'll be. Goodbye. What a twist! I did not see that coming! I mean, they sort of hinted at it with the lion lily. And I actually had a inkling, but I didn't think it was gonna be like this. So sorry, Sean. The amount of foreshadowing twist is insane. Yeah, I kind of thought that the lion lily was related, but I thought that meant that he was there to like find a kid at the orphanage. I didn't think it would mean like Sean and Verity and the president was all connected this way. Sean isn't my biological son. Oh! I adopted him. He was aware of this? His mother? Amelie Fan, she died 5 years ago. We were cousins. But we are also friends, the best of friends. People often mistook us for sisters. Okay. So. The president went to the orphanage to meet Sean. But he made Canis there. So does that mean the blood is the president's? So does that mean the real president president is dead? And now we have a fake president? Or did he, like, get stabbed? And, like, lost his memories or something? Because I'm guessing this picture is telling us that he made Candace the assassin. We'll keep going. I've always been kind of sus that the president we met wasn't the same as the president that everyone's talking about. Anyway, let's keep going. And so when she died, it seemed only natural that Sean should come and live with me. Because I'm willing to bet the president in this photo is not the same as the one in the picture, because I'm sure at this point Candace already killed him. Or stabbed him or something him. But I don't think Candace would have let him live, so my assumption is that he's dead. Which begs the question who this is. Because I've been sus that the president we haven't met wasn't a real one. When Lang mentioned before that he had body doubles. And I decided the best way to do that would be for him to never know in the first place. Aw, Sean! It's quite a lot to learn from a recording made on a seemingly innocent toy. I guess Sean's mother must have recorded the message and then sent the plushie to the president. You're sure he was really my dad? Yes, I'm sure. Before you were born, your mother worked for a time as a diplomat in Zampa. Makes sense. That line of work might well have brought her into contact with the president. Told me she worked at the orphanage. She did, but only after she returned. After she quit the diplomatic service. She always loved helping others. The orphanage was perfect for her. Sorry, Jacobel, but I have to ask. Emily, the lady who asked the president to come, why didn't she show up herself? Why isn't she anywhere in the files related to the SS5 incident? She never made it to the rendezvous that night. Someone was tailing her. I'll bet that was Chairman Winter's doing. Though sadly we can't prove it. And because she couldn't make it, she never saw the president again. And she died 5 years ago. This can't be easy for Sean. Kay's being nice! Kay's being nice right now. Damn. He's so tough. Sean, perhaps now you can guess why I met with the president 2 nights ago. That was the big secret. I wanted to tell him face to face that Amelie was gone, but also that you were alive and well. More than well. Makes sense now. No wonder Judge Cavell was so keen to avoid sharing the details of their meeting. She would have had to share the truth about Sean too. That's why I took the Lion Lilies with me. So there would be no doubt that I knew Amelie and that I knew her well. These flowers bore special significance for the two of them, you see. President Wang gave Amelie a bouquet of Lion Lilies in the early days of their romance. But now, he too is dead, if only he had lived. Sean might finally have been able to get to know him. I don't think so, Cavell. But okay. I've been waiting for the right time to say this, but... Let him talk! They sent something else from Zanfa, President Wang's will. President's will, huh? He gave my father medal after medal. They had to come up with new ones just for him. In the end, there were no medals left to give, so he made us the keepers of the Lost Will and Testament. Okay. I want to know about the will! What is it, Agent Lang? Does it have anything to do with our current case? You could say that. Seems he was planning on publicly acknowledging Sean as his son. That's probably why he's... I see where they're going with this. I think I'm right. Sean's name appears in the president's will, and we're certain that the document is authentic. The president Wen wrote it himself. Oh, the president is dead before this. He'd been dead for years. Oh, he'd been so dead for so many years. Oh, but it's real. My family took charge of it back before the SS5 incident happened. I want to analyze it back home to be sure, but I stake my name on it being the genuine article. Oh, I've seen this before! I've seen this before. Child nobody knew about would have sure to cause a stir, and yet he chose to mention the child in his will nonetheless. Still can't quite believe it, but the president's confirmed it with his own hand. Everything makes sense now! No denying it, Sean. You're President Wang's son. You're President Wang's son! Sean ran away. Hi. Oh, yes. Everything makes sense now. Alright, let's keep going. I'm not gonna lie, Ari, you're genuinely a bigger genius than Edgeworth. I mean, this is an actual compliment. No, this is just... I watch a lot of crime drama. Like, a lot of crime drama. And I like mystery novels. I feel... Okay, not gonna lie, I also watch a lot of Conan. Detective Conan. This is very... This is nothing new in the world of crime drama and mystery novels. Because as Candace is here, that means he's definitely... The president's not alive anymore. The president's definitely not alive anymore. And there's only one reason for Lang to mention body doubles back in the beginning of the chapter. Because the president that we're meeting is fake. Would you ever play any more Ace Attorney games after this one? I want to play Apollo Justice. I have Apollo Justice and the one that comes after that. So I will play those eventually. But not right after I finish this one. I like to like take breaks in between. Alright, we're back in Big Building's empty lot. It's April 6th, 4:51 p.m. It was my dad? Maybe, maybe not. You should also try out The Great Ace Attorney. I think you really like it, because like my favorite duology of the entire series. Oh, I have that one too! I have that one too. I bought The Great Ace Attorney as well. That's the one where it's set in like steampunk London or whatever, right? I have that one too. We'll play it eventually. No, you're good. Yap away. And too late to ever get to know him. You know how hard I tried to find him. I get it, he was the president. He had a lot more to think about than just me. But he was right there in front of me, right there on the set. Why didn't he just say something? Why didn't he tell me who he was? Because I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he didn't. He didn't know. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault, Mom. It's mine. If I hadn't broken my promise to you, the fire would have never happened and he wouldn't have. I've ruined everything. It's all my fault. Oh, Sean! Even ruined your flowers? You mustn't blame yourself. Just try to be here with me. That was such a good mom! Just for a little while. The bond between parent and child, as symbolized by the lion lily. I'm no expert, but it's native to Zanfa, so I know that much at least. Sadly, we don't have the luxury of dueling on such things just now. I know it might seem insensitive, Agent Lion, but sentimentality won't help us here. We need to focus on what we can do about the case before us. I believe we learned all we need to about what happened back then for now. How did it all line up with your father's theories about the case? I wouldn't know, he took those to the grave with him. He never shared his thoughts with anybody. Did it say who set the fire? No, just this picture. What about your own thoughts? Are you feeling any more positive in light of what we learned from case reconstruction? Are we any closer to learning what really happened 12 years ago? You know, I think we might be. My father's footsteps are starting to become clear. Now all we need to do is follow them. All the way to the truth. The real story of the SS5 incident. We still haven't talked about who actually started the fire, did we? Interesting. The president went to the orphanage that night, that much we know for sure. The Torosaurus toy proves it. He must have gone there to meet with Amelie Fan. Except he was kidnapped and All Down happened to see it. I don't think All Down saw his kidnapping. I think All Down saw his murder. If All Down hadn't been there, there would have been a murder. There wouldn't have been a murder, just kidnapping. Instead, they had to move his body to the planners and stage that photo to throw everybody off the scene. No, there was already a dead body at the scene. So that's our current theory. It is not. It is not mine, at the very least. There's something I still don't understand. Why are you staging the picture? So people think the president is still alive. It would have to force the president to play on what if he hadn't? It's a good question. We may be closer to discovering the answer than we think. We'll just have to get there one deduction at a time. Alright. Here we go. Alright, let's press him on the first statement. Nothing should be taken for granted at this stage. We need to treat even the seemingly certain with caution. And really be sure that the president went to the orphanage. This is a nice change of pace from people asking you to show them proof, huh? There's no need to actually say all that, okay? Alright, the Torosaurus toy proves it. He must have gone there to meet with Amelie Fan. Plushie, it has a recording device concealed inside it, correct? It does, and it was used by Sean's mother, Amelie, to record a message asking the president to meet her at the orphanage at midnight. You're finishing each other's sentences now? What a team! Okay? Not right now. Not right now, okay? Alright. I'm glad you're having a good time, though, okay? I'm glad you're having a good time. It's the less unfortunate sounding. Alright, let's keep going. Except he was kidnapped and Alden happened to see it. I don't think he was kidnapped. We go over the detail once again. So Mr. Alden saw the president getting kidnapped from right by the orphanage. He was standing next to the snowman. The murderer crept up behind him, grabbed a brick and... Alright. Okay, not right now. I'm trying to get to the facts. Well, I haven't been there wouldn't have been a murder, just a kidnapping. There was already blood on the scene. Mr. Alden hadn't been there, huh? That's an interesting suggestion. Care to explain? There's not a whole lot to explain. He saw the kidnapping, so he was murdered. If he hadn't been there, maybe the kidnapping could have happened without any blood being spilled. Oh, that's the clue! That's the clue! Mr. Alden was the only person who died at the orphanage night. But I know it's not. It all makes sense now. Because why even take the photo? What's the point? Why does it matter where his body was? Well, I'm gonna press this last statement just for funsies, but pretty sure I know where they're getting at with this. There's another very important part of our current theory. Should we go over all the details again? Alright, first, what did Alden see? He saw the president being kidnapped from right in front of the building. I think by that time the president was already dead. Because... in the artwork, the snow is all the way to the door. And this is what? 12 o'clock at midnight. Alden wasn't there until 1 a.m. So if this picture is what I think it is, which is the moment of the president's death, he didn't witness a kidnapping. He witnessed someone... he witnessed two people talking. I see. They replaced the film at Alden's camera. Stage a photograph of the kidnapping occurring further away from the building. And then they moved Mr. Alden's body to a location consistent with that future show. This would make all sense too with... this will all make sense too with the smuggling through Zenfa. Because now they have a puppet president on their hand. Interesting. The secrets buried underneath the snow 12 years ago are finally coming to light. Oh, funny you mentioned snow. Godless sense we're still not seeing everything, that there's something else at play behind it all. Yeah, y'all need to watch more like crime drama, read more Detective Conan, read more detective novels. Okay. Fun fact, you could have presented this one immediately without even pressing, but I like pressing just to get 100% of the dialogue performance. I just like to see what they have to say. I just like to see what they have to say.
Objection!
Anyway, I have an objection, Agent Lang. Well, Edgeworth has an objection. You're saying there would have been no murder if Mr. Alden hadn't witnessed the kidnapping, but is that really the case? Why wouldn't be their main aim was to abduct the president? I don't think so. I think it was an assassination. So there hadn't been a witness present, they wouldn't have needed to murder anybody. And yet it remains possible that Mr. Alden wasn't the only person killed that night. There was a large pool of blood between the planters, but Mr. Alden was murdered over by the snowman. It can't have belonged to him. What if all that blood by the planter belonged to someone else? Come on, Mr. Prosecutor. You do realize what you're saying, don't you? I do. It's hard to believe. I'll be the first to admit it. But it's what the evidence suggests. Remember! You eliminate all that is impossible. What remains must be the answer. Not just one person who was killed here 12 years ago, but two. They covered a whole separate murder. Oh, they sure did! The who else was killed that night? Oh, I don't think you're gonna like this answer. Whoever cut up this other homicide did so very skillfully indeed. They even seem to have been able to avoid it being mentioned in the files. But they didn't quite get rid of everything. The piece of evidence from 12 years ago that they never managed to erase. It's clearly shows that something else happened that night.
Take that!
Celsius Winter tried to shroud the existence of the other murder in darkness, but there was one piece of evidence he wasn't able to suppress, thanks to the efforts of your father, Agent Lang. Cast your mind back, if you will. Something else was hidden along with all the other evidence from the crime scene. The existence of the child who set the fire in front of the orphanage. But why would Chairman Winter wish to erase him from the record? Because he saw something he should not have. That's why. What happens in the dark comes out in the light. Yes! Yes. What was it? It's right here in this picture. Picture my father kept. I think we can all agree that's the president on the right-hand side, and that's the Torosaurus toy in his hand. But who's that standing across from him? Is he here? Where is Kenneth? Right here.
Take that!
Don't worry, this quote isn't from any Ace Attorney games. This is not as fun. I just like crime flicks too. You and me both. I love crime drama. Eastern robes and the black dot that can only be Body Dharma Canis. Is it not obvious? They even drew the bell and his knife. And what would a hired killer be doing in the presence of a president? I can think of only one thing. That's right. It wasn't a kidnapping that occurred here 12 years ago. It was an assassination. The only thing that makes sense is the president died 12 years ago. And Warden Legrand and Chairman Winter were, I think they were complicit, more than complicit in fact. One provided the venue for the killing, and the other suppressed the testimony of the child who witnessed it. Mr. Aldown was murdered because what he witnessed was actually an assassination, and not the kidnapping he thought it to be. You think I'm an idiot? How could the president have died 12 years ago? We only found his body this morning. He was alive and well until just recently. We even met him? Kay! Oh wait, Kay wasn't there. Kay wasn't there. There was no way the person we met in the first chapter was a president, okay? That was elected on his own merit. Did you figure out Canis' name? It's Dalai Lama, isn't it? I'm not sure. I have a difficult time reading his name. Body Dharma Canis. Body Harma. Oh no, I guess I didn't then. Indeed, so we have a president killed 12 years ago and a president killed in the last 48 hours. Two presidents, in other words. Which is completely impossible. Or is it? I think it's entirely possible for there to be two presidents. All you have to do is compare Sean's DNA to the dead bodies. You know, and then we'll know for sure. His name is also Buddhist because he's supposed to be a bishop in the chess game. Oh, that makes sense. In fact, that would explain a lot. So respected him. He held that place together. The president Agent Lang spoke of was a noble and capable leader. This is exactly what I mean. There's no way this guy became president on his own merit. Presidential mass is well and truly slit. Like, there's just no way. Entirely unlike the men we met. It really did seem as they were two completely different people. But how could one country have two presidents? It doesn't. But explain a situation like that? Is how it was possible for there to be two presidents. One was a body double. One of the two was a body double. Tell me that doesn't make sense. Body double? President Wen was a man of great power and influence in Zanfa, a figure on the world stage. Come on, guys! This is like the oldest shtick! This is one of the oldest shtick in the book! A double danger! What was it gonna say? Three Musketeers! That's what this reminded me of. The movie, not the book. The one with Leonardo DiCaprio starred in. There must have been countless attempts on his life over the years, such as the one at Gur Lake only a few days ago. It's true, there were more than a few assassination attempts, but that doesn't mean I'm about to accept that there was more than one president. If this case has so many twists and turns, you might as well be a pretzel at the end of it. Oh, I think it's gonna be more than a pretzel. It's about to become one of those, what are those things called? It's about to become a navel knot. Not without proof. Do you have any proof that there was more than one president? Now you got me. What if we have this? Anyway, that doesn't say anything about. I don't know what I'm supposed to present. I'm gonna think about this. There's not a connection between Knight and Canis. As you know, I've been trying to find out who Canis plays. Silly Cushman shall be pulling Knight out of my office. On blah blah blah. So you do a bin truth package. I'm sure. Okay, that has nothing to do. I don't think Lion Lilies have anything to do with it. Parasaurus plushie? Something that proves conclusively that there was more than one president. Blood. Not actually Owen's shoes. Right on the call. Do we have? Okay, hang on. Let's just think about it. Here for some reason. And there's another?
Take that!
Okay, it's not the tape. Alright, let me read the case file. Everything about the S5 case is so suspicious. If you need a hint, I can give one. Let me think about it some more. Okay. Must have gotten that wrong. You could prove that he never been in two places at once. It would be pretty good evidence that there were two presidents. Wait. Agnes wants to get in touch with the fast case. If you could prove that he'd ever been in two places at once, that would be pretty good evidence that there were two presidents. Prove that he'd ever been in two places at once. Okay. Okay, let me think about this. Okay, that's the letter we wrote to K. That's just the building. Moisture residue. No, I don't think that's helpful. Lock. I don't think that's what. Playback sound. Doesn't really help. This is. Okay, this is 11:05. I don't think that's helpful. IS7, I don't think that's related. Okay, so we know it's not these. At least I don't think so. Okay, Miss Hart didn't see the president pass through. 409 doesn't really have anything. These don't do anything. Okay, the bug, the recording. Okay, of lying lilies. Both Kay and Sean. Prosecutor in charge. Okay, the orphanage. Witness was murdered. Doesn't prove that he was in two places at once. Victim was struck on the head and died around 1 a.m. Well, it's not this. We already know it's not this. Stage photograph taken. Picture of a child. Okay. We know it's not this. We know it's not this. Prove that he was in two places at once. April 5th, approximately 11. April 4th, 11. Combination lock. Yesterday evening. Photo taken yesterday. Belong to the president. And record and play sound. Prove that there was more than one president. If I can prove that they were in two places at once. So let's see when one of these digging monster footprints. Think about the orphanage and where he was? But this happened at 12 at midnight. And this photo was taken afterwards. this is proof that the president was alive after he was killed.
Take that.
I don't think this is it. Think about where he was confirmed to be before. There were 2 presidents. Okay, hang on. So, President Wang is here for some reason. And there's another, the lights out, so I can't quite see. But it looks like he was being kidnapped. But in this... Oh, I'm so confused. But he was confirmed to be. Victim was struck on the head. Loss of blood reportedly on the phone. Prove that the president was in 2 places at once. Okay. Let's take a look. So we know it's not any of these. That much is certain. These are all current day stuff.
Take that.
Okay. I'm gonna die before you finish this. Try thinking about Lang's dad. Lang's dad is your biggest clue. Oh. Do I remember any of that stuff? Okay. In 2 places at once. 2 places at once. 2 places at once. February 10th, 12 years ago, President Zhangfa was kidnapped and ransomed for $100 million. President's presence at embassy until midnight. Oh! But the picture put him at the crime scene.
Take that.
I don't think he's noticed the contradiction staring him in the face. Should have read that incident report more carefully. What's the matter, Mr. Prosecutor? Pretty quiet all of a sudden. There you go. Sorry, my first hit was really bad. No worries. I should have read. I didn't read it carefully enough. That was my bad. Anomaly fence recording. She asked the president to be at the orphanage at midnight, but it shouldn't have been possible for him to be there at that time because he was supposedly still at the embassy with your father, Agent Lang. So he had noticed. The only way he could have been in 2 places at once is if there were two of him. The real president, that was the one, yes. Died 12 years ago, I think it might have been. Why and who? Who would have hired Hannes to murder the president? In order to figure that out, we'll need to look again at the pieces of evidence we recently discovered was a fake. The fake evidence, what was it again? Photo.
Take that.
The picture taken with Mr. Aldown's camera was staged sometime after his murder. And Mr. Aldown was murdered because he witnessed the president's assassination. In other words, the photograph too must have been taken after the real president's death. So who is the president in the staged photograph? The body double, nothing else makes sense. I believe the president's double had him killed so that he could take his place permanently. An Excelsius winner and Fifi Lagarde helped him do it. Do I have a body to support your theory? Are you telling me it magically disappeared? Did it magically disappear? In fact, we know exactly where it wound up. The president's body was here the whole time. In saying that all this happened in the span of like a day, the average life of a prosecutor, I guess. Average day in the life of an attorney. or a prosecutor. Take your pick in the world of Ace Attorney. The package we laid to rest was a body.
Take that.
Could the president body have been here? Not it. President was killed right here. And that was one of the perpetrators also observed doing here. Oh, I gotta say we burnt it. So do you. Let me jog your memory.
Take that.
Okay, I'm confused. He's saying it's been here the whole time. The fact that every case in this game happens in a row, 5 days in a row, is actually crazy. That salary better be worth it. Having to do 10 jobs at once, for real. I don't think prosecutors are actually supposed to be in the field. Monster footprint? Sometimes I'm really confused. The logic of the game. Okay, so... are we going with the monster footprints? Okay, I'm going with the fire. I'm going with the monster footprints. I'm so confused.
Take that.
Chairman Winter dug something up last night. Something he couldn't trust anybody else to retrieve. We thought it might have been the ransom money, but it was actually something even more important. That's right. The real president's body. I think it's highly likely anyway. The body may have decomposed in the intervening years, but the bones would surely have remained. Mr. Powers informed us that construction is due to start here sometime soon. Everything had to be wrapped up before then. The shooting of the movie and the recovery of the president's remains. Because I thought it was weird that she used the term laid to rest. I guess once they started digging the place up, they would have found them pretty quickly. Agent Lang, we need to have the so-called monster footprints analyzed again. Is the body under one of them? There should be trace evidence to confirm it. Alright, Interpol agents are on it. Presenting findings of analysis, sir. Traces of human remains were found in the dirt along with other signs of a body having been buried. So it really was him. Bones were also recovered from the home of Excelsius Winter. The physique looks to be about right, and dental and medical records are a match. The tremendous foreshadowing of laid to rest feel like a brick straight to the head, for real. Yeah, a brick straight to the head. It's him, no doubt about it. Pun intended. So, as suspected, the real President Wen was killed 12 years ago, and the SS5 kidnapping was in fact a homicide. Monster footprints data updated in my organizer. So it really was a murder, huh? This case has taken so many twists and turns, I'm starting to lose track. Perhaps we should summarize our findings just to confirm what we understand everything correctly. Alright. Alright, let's go over everything from the point where the president arrived at the orphanage. Alright. As much as I would love to, Kay, we're gonna have to do that next time. Because we're at the 3-hour mark, and I desperately need sleep. Bro, so much is happening right now. So much is happening right now. So much is happening right now. But yes. It's 1 a.m. I gotta sleep too. Yeah. Yeah. I would love a recap, but we're gonna be here for, I think, at least another 2 to 3 hours to wrap up the game. So. Alright. Oh, my cat accidentally turned into a witch. Well, it's having a good time, so I'm gonna let it be. Well, that is it for tonight. Next, that is it for tonight. So much has happened today. So much has happened today in this game. It all happened over the span of like 2 hours, which is crazy. Next time I get into legal trouble, I expect my attorney to go directly to the scene and get every piece of evidence down to the snack wrappers. Absolutely, Brondo. Absolutely. All right, well, that is it for tonight. We have uncovered so much from 12 years ago. It's so very to watch. I hope you mastered the game. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Really bad at puns now. You're doing great. It's my go-to Dimitri Polyakov. Alright. Yeah, we match, kind of. But yeah, we will be back on Saturday. We'll be back on Saturday with a Valentine's Day karaoke that is actually not going to be Valentine's Day themed. I just thought we should do something different on Valentine's Day. And on Sunday, we start Marvel Spider-Man. And then our next Ace Attorney investigation stream will be next Wednesday. And let's see if we can wrap up the game next Wednesday. Uncover all the mysteries next Wednesday. I'm in there. Yes, we damn messed up. Very fun. I got what you mean. Thank you all very much for coming. I hope you all had a good time. Appreciate you all for keeping me company while I figure out this untangling this very complicated web of mystery. Have a great day or great night wherever you are. Stay chill, stay safe, stay cool. And I will see you all in my next stream. Good night, and I'll see you next time. Bye.